First at 4, remembering Queen Elizabeth II of Great Britain. Her family rushed to her side early today to say their personal goodbyes to a woman who lived such a very public life. A queen, a wife, a mother, a world legend, lost at 96 years of age. A somber day in Great Britain and around the world for that matter. You don't have to be a devoted fan of the royal family to appreciate the long life and tenure of service lived by Queen Elizabeth. Her reign of 70 years, the longest in British history. Her last public appearance was just 2 days ago as she anointed another new prime minister for Britain, the Queen's 15th during her reign. Although she looked a little frail, very few would have guessed that this would be her final public appearance. Kimberly Gill leads our coverage of the Queen's life and legacy. She's in the newsroom. KG.
Hey, Devin. Yeah, the Queen's oldest son, now known as King Charles, released a statement a short time ago. He says during this period of mourning, his family will be comforted by the knowledge of the respect and deep affection so many had for the Queen. Those feelings were well earned over the nearly 100 years she was a part of the royal family and part of world history.
For much of the world, she was simply the Queen. Born into the royal family in 1926, Elizabeth spent her entire life in the public eye. The pageantry of her 1947 wedding to Lieutenant Philip Mountbatten in Westminster Abbey was just a prelude to an even bigger event, her coronation at the age of 26 following the death of her father, King George VI. Today, Britain's new prime minister hopes the country can come together now.
In the difficult days ahead, we will come together with our friends across the United Kingdom, the Commonwealth and the world to celebrate her extraordinary lifetime of service.
Over the years, the Queen juggled the monarchy and motherhood. At times, the scandals surrounding her children shook the royal family, especially after the tragic death of Princess Diana.
And may we, each and every one of us, thank God for someone who made many, many people happy.
In recent years, the focus swung to the next generation with the spectacular weddings of her grandsons, Prince William and Prince Harry. Sadly, family divisions have been on display once again when Prince Harry and Meghan Markle left the royal family. Then the Queen lost her beloved prince last year, but rallied to celebrate her Platinum Jubilee this summer. Now Britain grieves and prepares for a new beginning.
It is a day of great loss, but Queen Elizabeth II leaves a great legacy. Today the crown passes, as it has done for more than 1,000 years, to our new monarch, our new head of state, His Majesty King Charles III.
Yeah, and royal officials have confirmed the new king will be known as Charles III, you just heard. New monarchs sometimes choose a new name when they ascend to the throne. King Charles and the new queen consort Camilla will stay at Balmoral Castle tonight before heading to London tomorrow. Plans for a series of memorials has been meticulously planned, and we'll talk more about that tonight when you join us for Local 4 News at 5. For now, Devin, we'll send it back to you.
All right, KJ, we'll see you then.
Sure.
Here in Detroit, we know Canada, of course, is just across the river. Our next door neighbor is part of the British Commonwealth, and the Queen reigned over for so many years, it included Canada as well. Our native Brit, Tim Pamplin, spent the day in Windsor. Live now with reaction from there. Tim.
Yeah, Devin, a very, very sad day for so many over here, and yours truly. It was shocking when we came down to Dieppe Park here, a park that the Queen came to in the mid-80s, 84. And a lot of people down here remember that, but when the news broke a few hours back, the sentiment here was just of absolute grief. Take a look.
Oh.
What? Wow.
It's kind of surreal to know she passed away. The world's probably going to go through a shock the next day or two.
The news is indeed reverberating around the planet. Of course, not just the Queen of Great Britain, but of the Commonwealth and the territories. Many of us grew up with her, felt like we knew her, and she gave the impression that she knew each and every one of us.
That figurehead and gives continuity over the decades. And I just heard today on the radio she's been Queen for, I think, at least 12 Canadian prime ministers and a whole slew of British prime ministers. So she's, you know, it's that continuity over the course of many years.
The continuity, of course, it's someone we all looked up to in times that were hard and times that were good. She was always there. She was the steady hand that led the country, led the Commonwealth. So back over here in Windsor now, flags just all down at half-staff. Coming up at 5 o'clock, like I said earlier, the Queen was here in the late 80s. We'll take a look back on her visit to Windsor. Back to you guys downtown.
Yeah. All right, Tim. Boy, the very definition of steadfastness. More coming up from Tim at 5. And there is more local coverage ahead you won't see anywhere else. At 5, we'll look back on the Queen's 2 visits to Windsor that Tim just mentioned. At 5:30, an in-depth look at her rise to power in a world so dominated by men, especially at the time, and how being a wife and grandmother shaped the way that she ruled. At 6, you'll meet another Canadian with personal memories of his family's meeting with the Queen. And complete coverage can be found right now at clickondetroit.com. All right, other news on this Thursday. Will Michigan voters have their say in the state's battle over abortion? We are still awaiting a ruling from the Michigan Supreme Court. Election officials need to know by tomorrow so that they can work on formatting the November ballots. Last week, the State Board of Canvassers rejected the ballot proposal that would add abortion rights to the state constitution, the Supreme Court being asked to reverse that decision. Battles also being fought separately in the courts. Yesterday, a judge declared the 1931 state law banning most abortions unconstitutional, against the state constitution anyway. We're also waiting to see if that decision will be appealed, so we'll keep you posted on all of that. But again, time is of the essence. We are also waiting on a judge's decision in the faculty strike at Eastern Michigan University in Ypsilanti. We saw more professors on the picket lines this morning. Many classes canceled. But we've been told some professors do continue to teach. A union representing about 500 tenured and tenured track faculty voted to strike Tuesday night, even though many would argue the work stoppage is illegal in Michigan. The union is fighting the request for that injunction. All right, let's take a quick second here to check on the Forewarn First forecast with meteorologist Kim Adams. Another lovely day, Kim.
Oh, it's just beautiful out there. In fact, barely a cloud in the sky as we take a live look from our camera that's on top of the building here at WDIV. It's a little warmer than it was yesterday, 83 in Detroit, 81 in Ann Arbor, upper 70s in Port Huron, and 80 now in our south zone of Adrian. Temperatures across the board are for the most part in the low 80s, a couple of areas popping up in the upper 70s, including Mount Clemens and at City Airport. 24 hours ago, it was just a little bit cooler. This is the 24-hour temperature change, so it is right now 5 degrees warmer than it was this same time yesterday in Howell, 4 degrees warmer today in Pontiac, and 2 degrees warmer at Metro Airport. Yesterday's high was 81, today 83. Cooling down, though, this is what's nice about this time of year. We get these nice, cool, crisp evenings and warm days. A little change to that weekend forecast. We're going to talk about that in just a few minutes. Devin?
A legendary journalist is being remembered today for his ability to stay so cool under pressure, but also for helping to launch CNN in the cable news era. Former newsman Bernard Shaw has died. He was CNN's first chief anchor when the network was launched back in 1980, and he covered some of the biggest stories of his time, from the student revolt at Tiananmen Square in China to the U.S. invasion of Iraq in 1991 to liberate Kuwait. Shaw died from pneumonia, by the way, unrelated to COVID. But the unflappable one, Bernard Shaw, was 82 years old. We all know firefighters put their lives on the line to fight fires. You might not realize there is another risk to their health long after the flames have been put out. And today, a group of firefighters is working to raise awareness about that challenge. Evrod Cassimy shows us how they're rising to that challenge one step at a time.
It's called the Walk to Red 140, where firefighters walk 140 miles to raise funds and awareness for other firefighters who are battling cancer.
It's always going to be something we deal with just because of the smoke and all the chemicals we deal with on a daily basis.
Joseph Warren is talking about the cancer risk firefighters face doing their job. He and others are walking the 140 miles from Macomb Township to Grand Rapids to raise money for those currently battling the disease and the families of those who have died from it.
When 2019, when cancer was deemed the #1 killer of firefighters, we wanted to bring awareness to it in the state.
Awareness to help families like Eric Brown.
My father passed away from cancer. He was fire chief in Ovid for a number of years. He was diagnosed with cancer Memorial Day weekend and passed away 4th of July weekend. Very quick, 5 weeks.
The Firefighters Walk isn't an easy one.
We're going in our full gear. About 60 pounds, and if we get rained on, it's a lot more.
They need to raise about $25,000 more to hit their goal. The money is then split between 24 firefighters needing financial help fighting cancer this year and the families of 10 firefighters who have died from it. And we have posted more information about the Walk to Red 140 on our website and how you can show support by going to clickondetroit.com. In Macomb Township, Evrod Cassimy, Local 4.
All right, Evrod, you can also sign up to volunteer your time to help this cause, or if you know a firefighter needing help financially, battling cancer, you can nominate someone as well.